So most data science engagements, and this is more in a general sense, and we'll get to the Headstorm application a little bit later on, it comes from building requirements. That's kind of the first thing here. So you've got to understand what you're actually trying to build and what you're trying to serve to someone or something. Once you understand what the project's about, you're going to get that data, you're going to acquire it, you're going to coordinate it, you're going to clean it. And then we go into this idea of like doing data science, which is you build the product, you build the model, you organize it, maybe you do some exploratory data analysis. Buzzwords happen in this kind of phase until you get to the last stage, which is deploying and actually observing the results of what you're trying to make. And the big thing that I want to show off here is that it is an iterative process. And so when you finish one version of something, then starts the next cycle. It's like, okay, maybe I could have added some additional features to it, or maybe there's a new data set that comes out of this. We're consistently kind of improving the way we're doing things by having an iterative process. So how do we do that at Headstorm? So Headstorm has this process that was made last year, and it's called the STORMS process. And each of those letters in STORM stands for something that sums up the phase of the data science process that you're in. So the first one is scheme. Scheme means that you're trying to understand the problem, you're doing client interviews, you're gathering requirements, and you just get more from like a business or a domain perspective. Next one is take, where you start getting the information into a testing environment or into whatever environment that you're a part of in order to get everything combined so that you can move over to the next step, which is organize. And in organize, you check for data quality, you look for outliers, you're making sure everything's kind of packed in together to make sure that your next phase is going to be very operable. So in the organize phase, you're looking for null values, you're making sure all your information is there, and you're starting to tie it together for you to do statistical analysis. In the research phase, that's where you conduct your exploratory data analysis. A lot of people will call this EDA, and that's where you start doing kind of larger statistical analysis. You're looking for maybe a little bit more of like the distribution of your data. You're trying to find relationships. You're looking for correlation or but not causation, and then also kind of variance and covariance between your variables. This whole step sets up your next portion, which is modeling. And that's where you actually do what most people think is the data science work, which is you're actually creating some type of predictive algorithm in order to output into some type of measure that you can then use, whether it's futuristic or a combination of different aspects. And the last thing you want to do is you want to show. And that's you're broadcasting your results, you put your thing into production, and you plan for the next steps for whatever you are going to do next with this engagement or this problem.